Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, body of Brian found at Ocho Rios Transportation Center. The body, so far only identified as Brian, was found on the grounds of the Ocho Rios Transportation Center in St. Anne on Sunday. The identification was made by the Ocho Rios police. The police say about 5 a.m. they received the information about a man's body at the nearby transport center. Checks were made and Brian was found lying in a pool of blood. The body was removed to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital where death was confirmed. The Ocho Rios Criminal Investigations Branch is conducting a probe into the matter. Conductor killed allegedly over $150. A bus conductor was stabbed to death in downtown Kingston yesterday, allegedly over a dispute involving $150. The deceased has been identified as the 36-year-old Kemar Mary, otherwise called Paul, of Top Temple Hall in St. Catherine. The incident happened about 12:20 p.m. along Orange Street near Haywood Street. Reports from the police's corporate communications network indicated that an argument broke out between Mary and the bus driver. The driver reportedly left the bus he was operating, approached Mary, and stabbed him in the left side of his neck before escaping on foot. A friend of Mary rushed him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The gruesome attack left passengers traumatized with blood spattered inside the bus from the third row of seats. One higgler, who was visibly shaken, said that she was grateful her granddaughter got off the bus just moments before the deadly altercation. "Me sit down right here, so, and see when the man rush come on the bus. Me never know is what, but me just hear the commotion," she recalled. "My granddaughter was on the bus, but me call her back to collect something for my daughter. She probably would have get stabbed too or traumatized, cause see the blood there through the window, and that alone made me traumatized." Another bystander described the panic that erupted as the passengers scrambled to escape the terrifying scene. "The bus full of people, and load them alone and the two of them kick off. And through the window enough of them climb," the person said. Longtime associates of Mary were in disbelief, struggling to understand how a man they knew well could lose his life over such a minor dispute. "A long time we know Kemar, and all of we work them route here. We can't believe him dead over $150, the conductor said. Watchman on wounding charge. 52-year-old Andrew Newell, otherwise called Dave, a watchman of Allside District, Trelawney, has been charged with wounding with intent following an incident in his community on Sunday. Reports from the Waitabit police are that at 8 a.m., the complainant got into an argument with Newell over him building a wall on his land. The argument became physical, during which Newell used a machete to inflict several wounds to the complainant's face, shoulder, and the back. The complainant was taken to the hospital for treatment. Newell was subsequently arrested and charged and is awaiting a court date. Former political ombudsman calls for office to be reinstated. Former political ombudsman Donna Parchment Brown says the decision to subsume the office into the Electoral Commission of Jamaica was ill-advised. She is therefore calling for the office of the political ombudsman to be reinstated. Mrs. Parchment Brown said 1 year after the unilateral enactment of the Political Ombudsman Interim Amendment Act 2024 by the government, the lack of action from the Political Ombudsman Commission to complaints and the controversial rhetoric was expected. The former political ombudsman further stated that there would be great admiration for parliamentarians if they admitted that the changes have not worked, repealed the amendment, and sought to ensure that a political ombudsman is appointed at the earliest possible date with the necessary support. Mrs. Parchment Brown said the 9-member Electoral Commission, which comprises 4 political appointees, has been placed in a difficult position of maintaining neutrality and confidentiality.
There is a clear conflict of interest even by good, decent people, and it's important to say that the integrity of the 9 commissioners is in no way being impugned. But one must be rational. People are there, placed there by organizations to represent the interest of the organization, which for the normal work of the ECJ is very, very beneficial and desirable and has worked to benefit us. Maybe there have been difficulties, but it's worked. But when you now call on those 4 persons in a potential conflict of interest situation, then you're not only are you putting the other commissioners also in an invidious position, because if they form a view in relation to any matter to be investigated and there is a lot of contention, then it unnecessarily, adds discord to the work of the ECJ. Have they received complaints? Have they been handled? And what's their methodology for handling complaints? Is it that everything goes to all 9? And if not to all 9, well, to whom? I see absolutely no reason why a single ombudsperson has not been appointed.
Portland, the farmer gets reduced the sentence in landmark court ruling. In a historic decision delivered last week, a 9-member panel of Court of Appeal judges, led by its president, Marva McDonald Bishop, set aside the Portland farmer Cecil Moore's mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years for wounding with intent. The court replaced it with 12 years and 3 months, accounting for the 2 years and 9 months pre-sentence remand that Moore had not been credited for when he was convicted in 2016 due to the mandatory minimum requirement. The ruling will likely establish a crucial precedent for how pretrial remand is treated when a mandatory minimum sentence is imposed by a sentencing judge. The unanimous decision was made on Thursday following a 3-day special sitting of the appeal court, which was live-streamed on YouTube. Justices David Fraser, Nicole Foster Pusey, Frank Williams, Nicole Simmons, Paulette Williams, Jennifer Straw, Vivian Harris, and Carl Edwards also made up the panel hearing the appeal case. Moore was initially convicted on gun and wounding charges in November of 2012 and is sentenced to 15 years for both offenses. He was, however, ordered to stand a retrial after the Court of Appeal found that his first trial was unfairly conducted. After the retrial, Moore was again convicted and is sentenced to 15 years in prison at hard labor for wounding with intent and 8 years for illegal possession of a firearm. The sentences were to run concurrently. The appeal court's decision on Thursday came after attorney-at-law Robert Fletcher argued that Moore's sentence was manifestly excessive due to the court's failure to give credit for time spent in pretrial custody. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn conceded that the High Court's failure to credit Moore for time spent in custody was a constitutional breach of his right to liberty. In her summary of the order, McDonald Bishop explained that the court needed to act expeditiously due to the issues surrounding Moore's release date. We are happy to announce that after much discourse, as is evidenced by the time we have taken out, we have come to a unanimous decision, read McDonald Bishop from the written orders. The ideal thing would have been for the court to wait and to produce its judgment, explaining everything, and then showing our decision, but we are mindful that the applicant is still in custody and there is this issue as to his early release date, which oftentimes confronts us at the Court of Appeal, and we don't wish for that to come up, and the prison authorities are calling upon us for this decision, she explained. The court refused Moore's application against his conviction, but granted his application for leave to appeal against the sentence. McDonald Bishop clarified that Moore's sentence was not reduced, but that he had benefited from being credited for the time he spent in custody before being sentenced. It is anticipated that Moore could soon be released from custody, having completed 2/3 of his sentence. The prosecution alleged that on June 17, 2012, the complainant, a Portland farmer, was allegedly chased and shot twice by Moore after hearing gunshots while leaving his farm in Windsor in the parish. The complainant used a machete to defend himself and escape, but in an unsworn statement from the dock, Moore claimed that he was attacked by the complainant and a masked person while on his way to feed his goats in John's Hall of the parish. Moore denied having a gun, and they stated that the complainant as well as the masked person chopped and beat him, leaving him in a wooded area. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.